Hi everyone. Today we're going to be doing the Civil 3D Briefcase tools. Michelle McCarthy. This is a presentation provided to us today by Topcon Solutions. And I'm Michelle McCarthy. So again, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it because we have a very little bit of time today to discuss these tools. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the questions or the chat window there, and we'll get to them at the end. But again, today we're going to be talking about Civil 3D Briefcase tools, but we're going to go ahead and have like a heavy emphasis on types. So there I am. I've been working with Topcon for a couple years now, so if you've taken any trainings with us regarding AutoCAD or Civil in the Pacific Northwest area, there's a chance I've seen you. So who are we? Well, we're Topcon, and Topcon Solutions Store is here to offer kind of a field to finish. We provide a unique aspect of the industry where we provide equipment, training, and support for all aspects of the industry, from civil to survey to construction. Again, today we're going to be doing our TSS Civil 3D intro to our briefcase tools. So what are our briefcase tools? Well, it's a little something for everyone. They're a collection of Civil 3D efficient tools and solutions that we have available in the ribbon. It's super easy to learn, and it spans the entire industry from survey to civil. For the most part, these tools are one-off tools. You use them once or twice and you know them. It's very easy, and it'll save you hours of production time in many cases. So as you can see there at the bottom is a little preview of what our ribbon will look like, and we as every aspect of the industry, from survey, working with points, to civil, working with corridors, profiles, alignment, pipes, and so on. So there is no learning curve. Once you use these tools, you'll know it once or twice. It's good to go. All right. So just a little bit about, again, easy to use and easy to implement. Today's agenda, we're going to go ahead and do a general tool set overview. We'll look at the usability and navigation of these tools and just how easy it is to zoom around and find the different objects and entities within your drawing. And then I'm going to, as I said, the primary focus of this today will be pipe networks made easy, creating and editing pipes and structures, both in plan and profile, swapping multiple parts and structures at the same time. We'll create utility crossings, and we'll add points to our structures, and then create station and offsets and put all this information in tables. So just as we said, a general overview of this ribbon here and all the tools that we've got. We've got tools here to support the surveying industry, like extracting blocks from points. And while this, seems like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, blocks from points, this could be a very useful tool if we're creating, demo plans for trees, what trees are going to be demolished. I can go and extract blocks directly onto the appropriate layers to convey that message of a demo plan. We have the ability to create multiple profiles and, create their alignments all at once. And this could be super helpful, especially when it comes to dense corridor projects, or when you're, working on an intersection design and you got to have all four corners for your alignments. You can very quickly have all of your alignments, create multiple profiles all at once. Very easy to use. And then also in the realm within the civil aspect there, we can label our assemblies for ease and clarity. There's just a lot of tools in there that'll make your life a little bit easier, and, time savers. And in this industry, time is money. All right. I'm just getting into civil here. As promised, the first thing I wanted to kind of show off was our visibility and zoom tool tools. So our visibility manager here is really nice. If I open this up, we can see that we've got a lot of entities in this drawing here. And what this will do is it will turn objects off. For example, my surfaces, if I wanted to start turning surfaces off, well, rather than freezing a layer or anything like that, or creating a no plot style or a no display style, and taking all of that time to do that, what this will do is it will already kind of assign a no display style to our entities. which saves up drawing space, because if I'm freezing layers and I've got a layer for everything, that can increase my drawing size. If I come over here to my surfaces, we can see under my surface collection that this is our no display style that gets applied to our entities, and I can bring them back very quickly. I could also window select and hide things. So if I decide that I didn't want to see any of my assemblies and maybe these two profiles and kind of help myself out, limit my field of vision, I can turn those off just simply by selecting them. They'll turn off. And then I can bring everything back. Very easy to use, and again, keeps that drawing size down because I'm not creating layers for everything and I'm not creating additional styles. It's just saying, hey, this is kind of a no display. I can also use the Zoom to tools, beg your pardon. If I come here to one of my section views, I'm going to start there with one of our section views, and I'm just going to say, hey, let's quickly zoom to that section view. I'm going to say, let's go look at section 325. There's section 325 within all of my section views. So rather than going around and trying to find, okay, where's, section 400 or something like that, I can click on my sample line and it zooms me directly to the section view. I also have my section navigator, which will allow me to jump through all of my section views. So I can jump to the very beginning or come down here and find a specific view, like, oh, maybe I need to focus on 437 real quick. And it jumps me right there. And I can jump to the very end, 760, and the very end, beginning, to 0. In reverse, I can go ahead and say, hey, all right, well, where am I on that alignment? And select my alignment tool and say, bring me right there to 0, 0 on my alignment. It zooms me right to that section view. And then we can also go into, of course, profile. I can say, all right, well, what profile does this all correspond to? I select the sample line and it zooms me right to that profile view. So again, these zoom tools just allow you to quickly navigate through plan, profile, and section views. That section navigator is an interface that will allow you to easily walk through your cross-section views. You just kind of jump in from here to there to wherever you need to go. It makes quick, easy work if you're having to, adjust pipes and things like that. All right, so converting pipes, converting some lines and structures into points and vertices along your network here. I've got a polyline. This is just a regular old 2D polyline. I gave it a flat elevation of 390, but I'm not really going to need that. However, for this next demonstration, if you had a polyline that was three-dimensional and it had all of your elevations at each little vertex that you needed, that is totally fine too and usable. Or you can do what I did and set it at a 390 and play around with some other tools as we go. So I'm going to convert lines to pipes, and we're also going to create structures from points for a different network. But a tool like this already exists in AutoCAD. I can go ahead and go to the Home tab, and I can create pipes from objects and select a line or an arc or a polyline and have it converted. But the problem with that is that it will create a separate network every time. I already have an existing network that I want to put in lines, arcs, and polylines as the rest of my network, and then add on to it. So I'm going to go ahead and say convert lines to pipes. Here, right, it's asking me the network name. If I didn't have any existing networks, it would just say network 1 by default. But I do have some existing networks, and so this is nice. I can use a polyline and again add it to an existing network. So this tool converts multiple selected lines, polylines, or arc entities into Civil 3D pipe objects. All of them will be part of the exact same network. So I'm going to do some for my storm network. I set my network. It gives me, the parts list here. I'll verify that it is on storm sewer. I'm going to throw in some concrete pipes, but I'm going to make it kind of obnoxiously large for myself and say, oh, it's 36 inch. I don't know. Then we can go ahead and create our structures at each vertex along that polyline. And we also have the ability to create these intermediate structures. So if I wanted to put in some catch basins or something like that along this line, I could insert intermediate structures in between the beginning and end, but I'm going to leave them all the same here. There's the surface that I want to place these structures on. Here's the alignment that it's going to reference as well. I'm going to go ahead and erase that existing polyline. But right here, use the vertex elevation. I'm going to go ahead and say no to that and just have it take it from the surface. I did put it at a flat 390 in there, which I could use. But, if this was a real project, I would probably want to use the surface that I'm creating this pipe network from. So I'll go ahead and say, okay, very quickly, and this is just saying that my pipe rules aren't in there, that's fine. I just turned that entire polyline into a network. I'll go ahead and add it to my profile real quick. On parts and profile view, and here is the existing network that we already had to begin with, and we didn't even have a pipe in between these two structures before we began, and now we do. And there is my really large pipe in there and all of my structures. So again, the newly created pipes are automatically or should automatically be connected to existing structures, which are located, within that network, and that did appear to work for us. So we have just added on using just a polyline. Just in reverse there, so not just polylines, but I could also, let me escape here. I can also create structures from these points. So these are just dumb old COGO points, and I say dumb affectionately, but just a COGO point, nothing else to them. I can come here and I can say, let's go ahead and create structures from points. And I'll say that point and that point. Again, it automatically recognized what network I'm going to be adding to, simply because of the one that's in there and how I've named it. So it's saying, hey, network, do you want this sanitary sewer? I'm going to use this automated mapping. That's just saying which point number and what the description and the part family is. But if I wanted to go and change those parts as I bring them in, I set the family, I set the part size. Again, this is all pulling from that sewer list there. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, all right, okay. And I have just created structures from those points. If I need to link it up to this network, which I'm going to need to, I simply select it and I can go ahead and say, hey, let's connect that part. And I'll do the same on the other side. There we are. I can go ahead and add my sewer network. Alrighty. Well, just created some structures from points. If it's not connected, you easily can reconnect it there, just like I showed you. Let's go ahead and swap multiple parts. So again, this is one of those tools that I can swap multiple parts already within Civil 3D, but this will allow me to swap multiple parts, and structures all at the same time. This allows me to also maintain any existing entities that I want. So if I select a whole span across my network and I say from this structure to this structure, it will give me the option to kind of either swap out pipes only or structure only as well. So that can be found right up here. I'll go ahead and let's swap multiple parts. And I'm going to go ahead and swap out those pipes. And I think I'm going to swap out some of these structures as well for something a little different. So I'm going to say, all right, from here to here, and I get 11 parts selected. And right here, I can go ahead and keep the structure family and size, keep existing, or I can change my mind. I can come and say, actually, from there to there, I'm going to have this concentric cylindrical structure or something else along that. I'll do this 48-inch manhole, just a generic. And I'm going to change out those pipes that I had made too large. Oops, my bad, maybe I misclicked. So I'll go ahead and say, all right, 12 inches. I'll say okay to that and give it a second. And I was able to just swap out multiple parts and structures at the same time. And I realized that, yes, this is a different parts list, and that's fine. It kind of conveys that message, gives us some more, better visual there. We'll run it one more time. Swap multiple parts, beginning to end. I'll keep all of the structures as that. There we go. So this next one, we get a lot of feedback on. It's a really great one. Editing pipes and structures. We're going to use this pipe editor. And we're going to be editing our pipes and structures here in Profile. I can go ahead and select my pipe editor, and I'm going to select my first part. And then my last part here in this bit. And right here, I can go ahead and say lock upstream. If I select lock upstream, I can change what that starting structure is. So if I decided it needed to be maybe, not that first one, but maybe further down at the second one, I can say lock upstream, and it allows me to go back in and pick. A couple of settings that we find within our pipe editor here are, what are we looking at? Are we aligning the inverts, the centers, or the crowns of the pipe? And we want it to update the sumps of our pipe or our structures after we've aligned our pipe. I'm going to go ahead and accept the defaults there. And then in reverse, if I liked the way this structure was, I could set that as a default. But I can come in here and say, all right, here's my slope. I'll go ahead and see what a 5% slope looks like. And it'll give me a preview there in the background. All right, that looks pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and give me a standard drop across those structures of 0.1. All right, well, that seems to have affected the slope there. So good news, I can come back here and make adjustments. And I'm getting this preview in the background, and I can go, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll apply that. Very quickly, I just saved myself a lot of time by just straightening out that network. I'll close this like so. Back in the day, I used to have to go in and adjust all of those scripts and get things to work out just the way I wanted to. So also, that's our pipe editor. We have a structure editor. If I come here to structure editor, there is also a structure editor already available within Civil. It opens up within your panorama, and you have your structures tab and your pipe tab. But this structure editor, it just makes it a little bit more clear. I just select the tool, and it's asking me to go ahead and select a structure. I'll just select one here off of my profile. Apparently that one was manhole 3, and I can see all of the pipes that are connected to it. I can see what the next structure is. I can adjust the sump step. I can even change the part directly from here. I can say, all right, well, actually this structure needed to be a null structure, let's say. And I can drop it down and go ahead and change it right here. Now it's disappeared. What's nice about this as well is that I can just double click on the structure name within this list, and it will zoom me to that in plan view. So here's manhole 2, there's manhole 2. I want to go and see where manhole 3 is. There's manhole 3. And just like before, if I wanted to go ahead and figure out where that was in my profile view, we always have those navigation zoom to tools. So I can say, okay, well, that one's at station there. Okay, there it is. Very easy to use, very easy to get around your drawing and make changes to your network. All right, so we can browse through our structures with ease and edit the most important Python structure parameters like structure name, size, sump depth, and rim elevation. This also allows me to swap those parts on the fly as we've shown. So I'm going to go ahead and get into creating some of these utility crossing analysis we have. So this tool goes ahead and calculates crossings between different utilities and inserts the COGO points at those crossings. This is great as a design aid because you can help make sure that you're within your own tolerances, and it'll also show us what those elevation differences are. And this is not out of the box. You'd have to create a table for this, but tables aren't too difficult, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and start here with creating a utility crossing analysis. It's asking me what networks I want to, kind of compare. And I've got a storm, a sewer, and a water. And I'm just going to put in a basic X with just a description only for these points. These points automatically get an elevation of 0 to start. There is a user-defined parameter that gets attached to them. And I'm going to say draw the crossing verticals here, and we're going to say OK. It's going to give me a little warning message. This isn't saying that anything's wrong. It's just saying that because I'm calculating pressure pipe networks, if I'm using any curved pipes, they are going to be calculated as straight pipes. So please calculate vertical elevation differences manually for those curved pressure pipes. I'll say OK. Right, zoom in over here to my plan view. This was my water network here, and there's that storm network we've been adding to. So I've got 2 crossings, 1, 2 on that network, and then here's the one for our storm and sanitary network. I had 1 crossing right in there. I went ahead and added these to a point group for myself just for ease. I'll just select them here. And if I look at the point list, you can see that we've got that top elevation, we've got a bottom network, a top network, that bottom elevation, and what that elevation difference is there. And so this is a user-defined parameter that I have mapped out to a table. So let's go ahead and close that. And I'm going to add a table here for those points. All right, we'll say okay. And so again, this is very helpful if I need to create these utility crossings and make sure that I'm calculating the differences between these utilities and I've got enough space in there. So there is that automated difference where there's my bottom elevation, then the network, top elevation, and what network is on top. So again, calculates the crossings between the different utilities and inserts a pogo point there. Great design aid. Also, another great point tool that we have in here is that I can go ahead and create points on my structures within my networks. And so I'm going to go ahead and just add points to every structure within my pipe network for storm that we've been working with. And I'm going to say, hey, you know what, give me that rim elevation in here. Obviously, you can also do sump elevations or just kind of setting as a straight elevation. All right, so I'll go ahead and say okay to that. And give it a second. And what I just did was I created these points. There's manhole 3, there's manhole 5. Again, I went ahead and set up a point group for myself real quick in advance. And properties. There we go. Taking a second to update. And so, yeah, I do have all of these storm manholes that I've just created. And I can run and add and station offset to these points so I can figure out exactly where they are within my plan view. And this is really great also for the end of a project. This will calculate station and offsets of selected points according to the parameters I set here. This enables the creation of report tables on this data, and it's really great for takeout. If I need to convey where we're going to be putting these out into the field, I can go ahead and, tell them exactly where it is. I'm going to do this off the point group that I just created. And I'll say, okay, we can go ahead and select the alignment that we wanted to reference. And if I had a second alignment, maybe this was an intersection of some sort, I could give that secondary alignment information here as well. Okay. So I've run the tool. I'm going to go ahead and select these points. I'll add my table. Again, this is something that I created. It's not out of the box. I'll use the point groups. I'll say okay. And here is a table with each one of those points with the station and the offsets, which side that they're on, the elevations that they're at, a little description, and their northing and easting. All right, and there was only one other tool here that I wanted to show you guys. That is our joining of alignments. We have multiple alignments over here to play with. But something that I set up in here was I created an alignment from one of our pipe networks. And then we went ahead and we added to this pipe network when we first got started here. Well, if I wanted to go ahead and create a full alignment here, there is my profile from that storm alignment I had created. But if I needed to add to that alignment and I wanted to add the rest of this network here, I'm going to go ahead and select those pieces. And we'll give it a second. There's my pipe. Give it a second. Creating an alignment from network parts. I'll go ahead and select the first part here and the last one. This will be my second alignment. It'll be a proposed. I'll say let's do no labels, and we're going to create a profile and profile view. I can add the pieces I need to see. We'll go ahead and make sure that this is set to the appropriate styles. Draw in profile view, and we'll do a full grid, create profile view. So I've got two separate alignments right now representing the exact same network. There's that first one, and here's that second one. But what I can do is I can use this join alignment tool, and I'm going to join the two alignments I've had. And what it will do is it will add all of the information from this alignment to this alignment, allowing me to delete out that second one and have a full one that's pieced all together. So again, back to our Briefcase tools, I'm going to go ahead and join alignment. I'll select this alignment and that alignment. I'll hit enter. It's asking me if I want to join the two profiles, and I'm going to say yes, please. All right, let's see if it works. And now we have a full storm alignment here picking up those pieces from before that weren't part of our network when we first began. I can even delete out this profile view. I don't need it anymore. And I can come in here and actually delete out that second alignment because I have joined up, and you can see it right there in the background, my very first existing alignment. Alrighty, well, that was our short 25-minute demo here. I'm going to switch back to our PowerPoint. And we've got about 5 minutes for questions. I see we've got something popping here in the chat window, but I really appreciate your time. Again, I'm Michelle. I'm an application specialist here at Topcon Solutions. If you need to get a hold of me, there's our email. And if you're interested in training or purchasing the ribbon here, you can go ahead and hit us up here at topconsolutions.com. There's our main number as well. All right. So, opening up the floor to questions. Can you get a copy of this video? Absolutely. I believe everybody who's attending today will get a copy emailed to them. Absolutely. Great question. Any more questions before we wrap up today? All righty. Well, thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure. I will keep this open just for a few more minutes, and we'll go ahead and end our presentation. Again, thank you.